Welcome to Dream and Do, a podcast for women who are chasing their dreams, rediscovering who they are, and are ready to make changes, big or small. I'm your host, Nicola Ray Wickham. Join me for confidence pep talks, soulful insights, and practical tips on all things creativity and wellness, along with powerful conversations with women who are dreaming and doing in action. This is the stuff you're going to wish you knew years ago, but don't worry, it's not too late. Let's get started. Hey loves, so here we are, day one of Podmas. Those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the last episode because I explain what it is. But basically, I am going to be podcasting for the next 12 days. Am I crazy? I think I'm a little bit crazy. And it's all part of something that a lovely blogger called Lucy Lucraft has put together. And she's given us different prompts for each day. And for me, it's about getting back into podcasting because I love it, but I don't do it enough. And also me showing up in a perfectly imperfect way, which really excites me. And I love how it's day one already and I'm diving into doing this in that perfectly imperfect way, or imperfectly perfect. I don't know. I've used both ways of saying that over on Instagram and here. So yeah, bear with me, but you get the gist of what I mean, right? And an example of that is the fact that it's now 4:15 on a Saturday afternoon. I'm recording as I go and I am going out this evening. I need to leave the house in about half an hour and I still need to get changed. So me picking up the mic to start talking and recording a podcast episode is a little bit bonkers, to be honest. It's not something I would ever usually do. And it's kind of like, oh, let me just squeeze in this podcast episode. Usually, yes, I might squeeze in an Instagram post or jot down an idea or squeeze in an email. But I would never before have squeezed in a podcast episode, partly because in my head and now I come to realise through doing this that I had built it up to be this big thing that needed a bit of an occasion. When I first started podcasting, I loved to podcast and put lipstick on. Like, I'm not a person that really wears lipstick on a day to day, but there was something about like setting up the mic and sitting in front of it just made me want to put lipstick on. So I was really creating an occasion out of it, and that's okay. But it was also maybe me trying to be perfect in a way. I don't know. But whatever it was setting up barriers to me just picking up the damn mic and talking. Also, when you're obviously planning an episode with more kind of structured content, it takes a bit of a plan as well, to be fair to me. And also if you're interviewing guests, then that's the whole thing of scheduling and stuff. But it's just so refreshing already on day one to think, okay, I'm going to do this kind of 10 minutes and then spend 20 minutes getting ready. I know what I'm wearing. I'm already washed and clean. So 20 minutes should be okay. But yeah, I just think it's a really interesting example of when you don't have those barriers and you set yourself a challenge and you just pick up the damn whatever it is you need, in my case, the mic and my laptop and my voice, and start using it. Take from that what you will, loves. Take from that what you will. So today's prompt is the best advice that you've ever had. And I've been really thinking about this. And we all receive loads of advice, really. Some of it wanted, some of it not, some of it solicited, some of it unsolicited. And the only thing that really, and obviously with Instagram now, doesn't it feel like we're getting advice overload? But the only thing that really stuck out to me that I could really remember that I've always kind of held close is advice from my mum. And my mum has always said, don't look at what other people have with jealousy or with judgment, because you don't know how they got it and you don't know what's going on behind their four walls. My mum's always said that ever since I was a little girl. And it is so true. As I have got older, and I'm going to riff on it a little bit more because I've got like an extension on it because you know me, right? But that notion, especially now with social media, it's so easy to look at other people. We're seeing other people's highlight reels and to build up a picture of what we think their life is. And my mum's advice of not judging and not being jealous or not coveting what they have because you don't know how they got it. So when my mum first told me this advice, I know she was talking about like, you don't know if they got it through criminal means. Or you don't know if they went into like loads and loads of debt to get that thing that you're feeling really jealous over. So I know that that's kind of where her mind was going. But I also think it's valuable to think about it as in when we're looking on social media, it's easy to make those judgments about other people's lives, but you don't know. You don't know how they've got to where they've got. You don't know the story behind it. And I think that that is really important piece of the puzzle, is to know how people have got where they've got. And it's not just the end product, is it? You spend more time in the journey. So I've always loved that advice from my mum. And then also to kind of take it a little bit further, it's that whole, you don't know what's going on behind four walls. And that has been, I think that's really great advice as well, because when you interact with someone and you meet someone, what you see getting back from you, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what is rolling around in their heads. And sometimes it's about, I don't know if it's about cutting people some slack, or it's just, it's not to say that you're a pushover or walkover and just let everyone get away with anything, but it's just realizing that what you're seeing in that moment isn't the full story. And I always think about it sometimes, like when I'm driving, that is when I get ragey, right? That's when the rage can come on, when usually I'm pretty cool. And then if someone cuts me up sometimes, I ain't going to say that I do this all the time, let's be truthful. But sometimes if someone cuts me up or does some really stupid, dodgy move on the road, right? I'll think maybe they're just having a really rubbish day, or maybe they're in a rush to get somewhere that's really important. Obviously now, because I'm pregnant, I'm like, maybe the passenger is in labour. But I think that that's an example of just showing that you don't know, like the behaviour that's present, you don't always know what is going on for that person. And I know that my mum was also referring to it as in, you don't know what goes on behind four walls, in terms of the perception that people will present to you is what they want you to see. And we don't really know what goes on once that door is closed in people's homes. So I think it's about having that empathy, but it's also about not having that judgment. And it's also not having that jealousy, comparison, or coveting it, because you never really know the full story. And I know that is advice that helped me when my mum told me when I was a little girl and there was probably someone's toy or something that I wanted, up to when she would tell me as I got older. And I know that it was like, well, you don't know how they got it, Nicola. Like, could have been through criminal means. Because that's my mum. Right up to now, where it is, for me, it lands massively on the comparison piece, on social media, and also on the judgment piece as well, that you just never know. You never know what's going on for somebody. So that is my day one of Podmas. I would love you guys to let me know what you think. Like, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given? Yeah, I'd love to know. Come over onto Instagram. There'll be a post up there when I share this episode, and dive in and let me know. Or if you don't want to do it publicly, then just DM me and let me know. I'd be really interested to get that perspective and to hear from you. And even, it's such a beautiful exercise in getting your mind thinking back to that. Because sometimes, like, our behaviour is dictated by our beliefs, and often it's happening on an unconscious level. This is something I've been doing. I'm putting some training together for my masterminders, and it's all about beliefs. So I've been diving deep on this. But it is, so these beliefs, often unconscious, they're dictating our behaviour. And a simple question like this can help to uncover, actually, that's a belief that I have, and how is that then dictating or influencing my behaviour. But yeah, I really want to know from you guys, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given? Right, that is me. 10 minutes done. I now have to go and get myself ready and presentable to be out on street. Anyways, my love, if you're listening to this, it's going to go live this evening because I will have to go live after I get back. So it's going to go live late tonight. So if you're listening to this over the weekend, happy weekend. If you listen to this next week or beyond, thanks for being here. And yeah, come over to Instagram and share. Right, I will see you tomorrow for day 2. Lots of love. Thank you for listening. It is so appreciated. If you like what you heard, help your girl out by subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. And I'll be picking out a reviewer each month to receive a very special affirmation card and print pack. So get over there to get yours. Sending you love and light as always, and I will see you really soon.